Hello, welcome back to our YouTube channel. Today I'm going to tell you the 5 surprising signs that you might be going through perimenopause. If you're new here, I'm Claire Snowden-Darling. I'm the head of the College of Functional Wellness and I have over 15 years experience in the healthcare industry, specialising in women's health and hormones. If you find this information useful, please remember to subscribe, and without further delay, let's get into the video. Firstly, I want to talk to you about why it's important to know that you're going into perimenopause. So the difficulty is that there is no start time. It's something that just starts to happen really slowly, often 10 years before we actually go through the menopause transition. So symptoms just kind of start creeping up on us. And basically there just comes a day where women just go, I don't feel like myself anymore. Am I going crazy? And because these symptoms are vague and, like I said, have this no start time, commonly they can be very overlooked by the medical model. And where there are no fundamental tests to say, yes, you're in perimenopause, these symptoms can often be misdiagnosed as things like depression or anxiety when actually it's perimenopause. So I've seen this evidenced through working with thousands of women in my clinical practice and seeing how when we work on stabilizing hormones, everything starts to change for them. Personally, I was dealing with this issue for years, but these symptoms were all overlooked because I was considered too young to be going through menopause. So what is actually happening? Well, as we go into puberty, our progesterone and our estrogen rise. Now we always have a little bit more estrogen to progesterone, but our progesterone and our estrogen rise, and there they stay throughout our fertile years. At the beginning of perimenopause, what happens is progesterone starts to fall off a cliff and we carry on with the same amount of estrogen. So that might be, people tend to be quite aware of the main symptoms of menopause, missing periods, hot flushes, but they don't tend to happen till an awful lot later when estrogen starts to destabilize. But like I said, 10 years before that starts to happen, we can start to get this progesterone drop off. And so when this is happening, we start to get some really strange symptoms. So let's just take a deep dive into what those symptoms are. So my number one sign, this is usually the first thing I look out for in clinic, and it's the first thing I teach my students to look out for, which is women just start to become a little bit less confident. So that could feel like an increase in anxiety for sort of no reason. I remember just suddenly getting into a mad panic about having to buy stuff for the Christmas dinner because we had some guests over Christmas, and like just constantly writing and rewriting that shopping list, just like an excessive amount of anxiety. Other things that women start to notice is being less confident around everyday activities like driving. That's quite a common one. Like, I'm suddenly really nervous about driving at nighttime or doing a long drive, and I never used to feel that way. So that would be a sign that your progesterone is starting to drop, because progesterone is very much about mood stabilization and keeping us calm. Sign number 2 is unstable weight. This is definitely something that can start creeping up in our early 40s, isn't it? That middle-age spread. And so commonly women are saying, well, I'm not doing anything differently. I'm eating the same food. I'm still exercising. So I like to call it the occult weight gain, because it's like comes on like as if by magic. It just suddenly you're weighing more than you ever weighed. And it can feel really stubborn to get rid of. And again, this is because our hormones are starting to become unstable. So this is something that women really struggle with. It's something that they can find really sort of tanks their mood and their energy because they're constantly thinking about it and worrying about it. Sign number 3 is worse sleep. So either suddenly not being able to drop off to sleep when maybe that used to be really easy for you, or waking in the night. Again, progesterone is this delightful, calming hormone. And when we haven't got enough of it, we can't literally sort of switch into that sleep mechanism. And so women really struggle. Also, as our progesterone starts to drop off, we get surges in the stress hormone cortisol. And so that can commonly be a reason for waking in the night. Progesterone's sort of dipping, cortisol spikes, it wakes me up. So that's why women are sort of waking. So that is definitely a sign that you could be in early perimenopause. Sign number 4 is being more snappy. That's a common one that I hear. Women saying, oh my God, I just want to murder my children. And that's not me. I just want to have more patience with my husband and with my children. I don't like that I'm so snappy. That's a sign, again, of this calming hormone just starting to dip. And sign number 5 is a loss of libido. Again, as our progesterone starts to drop off, it affects the other hormones in a way that just means that we're kind of not really thinking about sex like we used to, which can put quite a lot of strain on relationships. It can make us question things in our relationship that actually often aren't the problem. It's because our hormones are dipping. So that completes my 5 signs that you could be in perimenopause. If you would like to hear more about the perimenopause to menopause transition and women's health in general, please check out the link in the description, which will take you to all of our talks, as well as the fully accredited courses we run. If you enjoyed this video, please do give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. I shall be back next week with more information about how you can take charge of your own health and support others to do the same. Thank you for watching. I'll be back next week.